Alright, hello fun and welcome back to my Fallout 4 Mod Spotlight series, where today we are having a look at the Survivalist bus mod, which is being made by users Pra and Eleonora. And what this glorious little piece of work looks to add into the game is a new customizable mobile player home in the form of the Survivalist bus. And I absolutely love this thing, as it's not only a fun, nifty, compact little player home, but it is also one that of course can be moved around the world, and it's been a while since we've seen a mobile player home in the game, so I had to take a look at this thing and have fallen in love with it. It is absolutely magnificent. So let's talk about how all you can use this thing and how to get your hands on this magnificent bus. Now, first and foremost, there are some DLC and mod requirements. Those DLCs are Automatron, Far Harbor, and Nuka World, and the mods are Settlement Menu Manager and Workshop Framework. With those installed, you'll find this lovely bus in the world over in Lexington, just to the east of the Corvega Assembly Plant, where there is the Lexington Bus Station. And once you do find the bus, it is already available for you to use as a player home. And when you go on inside, on the right-hand side of the entrance is where you'll find all of your crafting needs, with workbenches, an actual workshop to customize the interior, and of course all the controls for the bus. Now, on the left-hand side of the entrance is where you'll find the living quarters, where you mainly have storage and of course a lovely bed for you to get a good night's sleep in. And yeah, once you've got it as your home, that's really all you technically do need. But of course, this is a mobile player home that's meant to go around the world. And to do that, you are going to have to refuel this thing. When you do find it, it will have zero power whatsoever to move anywhere, and so it will function, like I said, as just a stationary, normal player home there in Lexington. So to get this thing moving, you've got to go over here by our lovely Protectron bus driver friend, where we have the reactor console. And if you activate that, you can shove some fusion cores into this thing, and it takes 10 fusion cores to fully power this thing up to 100%. So, 10% per fusion core. And once you've done that, you can now move this bus to a lot of places, a whole lot of places, via the navigation systems controls right here. And by default, when you first do find the bus, it's only gonna have that Lexington locale. But as you travel around the world, you'll discover 50 predefined locations for you to send the bus to. Now, you are going to have to go and manually find these, but when you do, you've got 50 locations split between the Commonwealth, Nuka World, and Far Harbor to let this bus travel to and from. Now, what's even better, and you may have noticed, well, we have our bus in the middle of our mod testing area, and that's because you also have the ability at any one of your settlements to build a bus arrival marker, and you can build up to 76 of those for a total of 126 possible bus stops in the game for you to have this thing travel to. And that's pretty freaking cool. That really allows this thing to go more or less anywhere you desire, and in your settlements to allow you to put it in just the right spot for you to actually have like a nice little bus station, which is nifty. Now, there are some other options in here in the navigation panel and system settings, which allow you to do things like follower handling. By default, you can only have like small followers in here, like your dog, but you can also allow any follower or none. Power usage allows you to change how much power is used whenever you do travel, which I think is actually honestly a little low, and you can up it by 200% or lower it all the way to free. You can also manually cheat by unlocking all the bus stops rather than having to find them all. You can also register this thing as a proper settlement in the world, which I think is weird, and apparently, if you do so, will corrupt your save file if you ever get rid of the bus. So I don't know if I'd recommend that. And of course, if anything ever goes wrong with said bus, you can refresh it right here to try and fix things. And that is our navigation panel. That's of course not all we have in here. I really only just briefly showed what all's in the bus. Let's take a quick A little more detailed tour, and of course, like I said, right-hand side of the bus upon entering, we've got all of our workbenches. We've got a cooking and chemistry station, or just a normal cooking station over here. And we also have a weapon workbench and armor workbench. And it's also pretty cool that the mod gives you the ability to actually build these outside of the bus in any other workshop you may desire, which is pretty neat. We also do have a bus workbench, which we'll take a quick look at here real quick, and this allows you to build a lot of things to change up the aesthetics of your bus. Like, you can add things like propellers, or rear tanks, or window swipers, etc. to the back of the bus there. We also have exterior skins, like a Nuka World skin or a school bus, but there are also some interesting ones that actually help make the bus a little bit better stat-wise. Like, we can actually upgrade the battery to have 100 additional max power for the bus to have more power to use for traveling. And if you don't feel like using just tons upon tons of, fusion cores, you can actually build solar panels on the roof, which will do 1 charge per day, which isn't much. By default, like I said earlier, actually, I don't think I said, by default, it uses 2 power to travel to places, or at least it did for me to move from Lexington to here, and so that would take 2 days to recharge that. But yeah, I mean, that's still not too bad, especially if you're not always going to be at the bus while wandering around. You can, put this on top to have it charged, trickled over time. Now, we also do have a fun utility in here. We have a bus remote, which will call the bus to any of closest location that we know. Very handy. It is an aid item that goes into your inventory and can be used like any normal aid item can be, and you can even add it into your favorites, so you can, very quickly call your bus around. And what did I just take? I just ate one of my aid items, but okay, there we go. You can add it right on there, and boom, you got your bus remote. Yeah, all these things are quite cool. There's a lot of fun stuff that you can add, including even changing up the driver if you would like to, change up the aesthetic of your lovely bus here. It's pretty neat. There's even some fun stuff like saw blades, etc. that you can add to the front. It's weird, and I like it. Now, if we actually do head on outside, there's a few things to show you, because there's a lot to go over with this bus, and I don't want the video to be like a half-hour long, because I could easily make it that, because there's just so much. There's just so much. Now, like I said, not only can we build a bus arrival marker in any of our settlements, but it also, the mod gives us the ability to build some other bus-related things. So if we do open up our workshop mode, we have a lovely new category of Survivalist bus. And in there, we've got the exterior stuff, furniture, and workbenches. And the exterior ones are pretty neat. We can build our own little bus shelter. So like I said, we can make our own little bus stops in our settlements. We also got benches there. A bus workbench if you'd like to work on your bus from the outside, as well as a number of bus shelter ads for you to place around, which are pretty neat. So you really can, change up your bus stops quite nicely. That's always lovely. But the most important thing here is this charging station. Again, as another means of not having to use up fusion cores if you have this in a settlement and have it powered with 50 electricity, this will charge your buses when they're in your singular bus, when you are in your settlement. So you don't gotta worry about either your solar panels or your fusion cores. But yeah, it's nice having those different options. If you've got it out somewhere in the wild, it's got the solar panels, in an emergency, the fusion cores, but if you got it out of a settlement, you got a charging station. Now, normally here in exterior, there is also the bus arrival marker, but there seems to be, I don't know if it's a glitch or intentional, but once you build the bus arrival marker, which I of course have right here, it seems to take it out of the exterior category. It's normally before the bus stop shelter here, which is strange, and I don't understand why that's a thing. But as you can see, it's this big blue marker that you can just place wherever you so desire, and this is where your bus will come to at your settlement, which is great. Again, it allows you to really make it so you can create a cool little bus shelter or what have you. Now, then, next in the furniture category, which has got a couple of items, those same table, workbench cabinet, and workbench table that we saw inside the bus. And these are important because we can actually use these to snap the various workbenches. Now, of course, we have another bus workbench here, but we also have the snappable other bus workbench that we can place there. We've got a snappable chemistry station, which can snap to either of those, which is cool. We got another cooking station, it can go there, as well as the cooking and chemistry one, and also the armor one that can go there, and the weapon one that goes there. Those can only snap to this large table here. The other ones that we looked at can actually seem to snap to either the this main cabinet or this smaller table. So pretty cool that we have these available. So, you know, if you accidentally delete them in the bus or do just want to use them in your normal workshop areas, you can, which is just very nice to see. Well, I think my favorite is all the bus shelter stuff. I just think that's amusing. And what's really great about having the bus workbench in a settlement rather than in here, in your bus, is because, you know, you now have access to all of your goods that are at your settlement. Inside the bus, you do not, but you do when you are out here. So if we wanted, we could change that skin to the Nuka World skin, and zoop, boom, there we go, it's Nuka World now. Or if we wanted to, say, add one of those weird grinder things to the front, or, oh, I like the tractor shovel, there we go. We have all the steel here in our settlement to handle it, and we can just go and take a look at it there. Neat. It makes it a lot easier to actually work with all of these, because the vast majority of all the workbench items for the bus are exterior. I think with the exception of the bus driver here. But yeah, everything else is pretty much an exterior thing, which, I mean, isn't bad, but it does mean it does make it certainly easier to, you know, have this here at a settlement. Ooh, there was another thing in here I did want to mention that was very useful. Where was that? Ooh, I don't, let me guess, I don't have the science yet. I don't have the science to put on those solar panels. Well, we can add a tank turret. Why not? What the heck? And, here it is, the side add-on. If you would like to access your workshop from the exterior of the bus, rather than, you know, having to manually move everything inside by yourself, you can add a workshop hatch, so you now have access to the storage there, which is cool. One of the more utilitarian items for the bus. It's very, very nice. But yeah, all in all, this is a great mod that I really, really do enjoy. It's a great little player home that has everything you need. It has the ability to go to 50 predefined locales and up to 126 additional ones. And it just has a lot of great little options. And I love the addition of the workshop items, the bus workbench. It's just a lovely little place, and even gives you a beautiful little teddy bear. But that's really it to go over. Again, I could probably talk about more of the intricacies of this thing for probably another 10 minutes. But all in all, it's just a fun, movable player home with loads of options. And oh, I almost forgot. That turns off a light over there. But yeah, that is it for this video then. I would definitely say for you to check this thing out yourself. Link in the description to the download, of course, for this, the mod page. Check it out. It's one of the coolest player homes I've seen in a very long time. And especially when you got, you know, people like Pra and Eleanor behind it, they are both quite good. So yeah, do definitely check it out, have fun with it, and hopefully you have enjoyed this episode today, and you come back for the next one. Hopefully we'll be looking at yet another wonderful mod, but until that time, my friends, thank you for watching, and as always, well, have a good one.